right, everybody. Yesterday we got the cinematic trailer for Fortnitemares 2025. Today, as the update is finally now live, we get the gameplay trailer. So let's see what the game looks like now. I have not seen this yet. I've seen bits and pieces of it. We will go back over it. Don't worry. Hopefully this is not copyrighted music, because there's some new stuff in this trailer too. But it looks like they've brought back some classic things as well. A couple of new features here, which will be very interesting to see how it's... Oh, they added the cartoony sound effect for the Scooby run. That's great. And there we go. The big key artwork again. Same as before with the cinematic trailer. So let's go. Okay, we got the witch's brooms back. Still the red variant. I remember when I first started playing, they were green. I can't remember what the differences were. Maybe because they have stamina now or something. But we get the new ghostly Peely riding in on one. Look at all the vines. The thorns have taken over Fortnite. Which, either way, I've got something to say about that, because this is the second map change for this month, and I'm a little disappointed about that, but I'll tell you about that later when we get to the next part of the video. But anyway, there we go. It's very brief, but there it is, the mystery machine, and it's cel shaded, by the way. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll see them in a little bit, but the Scooby Doo gang, of course, as was already rumored, is bringing the mystery machine to the game. I love it, but it's interesting that it does not appear that you could turn the cel shading off, which is you can't say you can say the same for, actually. You can't. Let me start that back over. You can't seemingly turn the cel shading off of the mystery machine, but you can turn off and on the cel shading for the Scooby skins. But we'll talk about those when we get there. Anyway, there's Doja Cat, if you saw her. Not that guy. Sitting on her throne of thorns. Although I guess technically this is not Doja Cat. It's the Mother of Thorns. So it looks like she's going to be playing a role in the game's storyline in a similar way to, you remember, Brie Larson and The Rock were playing members of the Seven at the time. And, you know, that comes with it, like, it's sort of like a double-edged sword where you've got a celebrity playing your game, playing an important role in your game. But the Fortnitemares antagonists usually are only around for that event. And then afterwards, they're gone. It doesn't matter anymore. So it's not like they have to really have... they're not really worried about keeping her on board long-term like they were with The Rock, for sure. Because if you remember, we first saw the Foundation at the end for the live event of Chapter 2, Season 5. And then he stuck around to voice the Foundation all the way through till... was he in? Was he part of the device event? Not the device. He was at least around for Chapter 3. So he stuck around a while to voice this character. And then when I guess they couldn't get him anymore, then he was just gone. And that sucked because it derailed the whole freaking storyline, which sounds familiar enough if you paid it all attention to the WWE in the recent memory, especially with the Cody Rhodes storyline where The Rock showed up just completely out of the blue, seemingly pitching a storyline where he and Cody would eventually collide, but there was never any actual plan for that to happen. He just showed up, cut a promo because he wanted to, and never had any intention to follow that up. So, hey, you know, it's familiar territory. So, yeah, this is at least more of a more reasonable compromise, in my opinion. If you want to bring in a celebrity and be part of Fortnite and its story, give them a smaller role like this that will be over with in a few weeks, and you don't have to worry about having them stick around. But anyway, this looks cool. There's Black Phone. I think that's what this character... I don't know what this character's name is. From Black Phone. No idea who this is. This looks like a mask inspired by Attack on Titan, actually. There's Art the Clown. I gotta confess, another character that I'm not familiar with. Call me uncultured or whatever it is. Call me ignorant, stupid, whatever. Don't know who this is. All I know is this is a very adult-oriented movie or at least very violent. So, not kid-friendly material. And here he is in a game that has a very large kid audience, but like, whatever. There's Ghostface again. This is an iconic villain here. I'm at least familiar with the Scream movies. I remember watching one of them like way back, like pieces of it. I'm not a big horror guy, to be honest. I like the more wackier side of Halloween, the more fun side. I mean, fun is subjective, but whatever. But yeah, I'm at least familiar with Ghostface. I don't know anything about Huggy Wuggy, Poppy Playhouse, or whatever that game is called. I already had somebody poking fun at me because I didn't know who this character was. I have no idea what Poppy Playtime is. I'm sorry. Forgive me, internet peoples. Now, this was the surprise here. Now, we already knew about the two on the side here. These are new skins for two of the members of the High Stakes Club, Halsey and Joni the Red. But this is her, Halsey has been turned into a witch, and Joni has realized her destiny of just accepting that she is a vampire. This is something they teased way back in Chapter 4 for this character, and it's not been important to the overall storyline of Fortnite, but I liked this group of characters, and there's still one more member of the crew that we haven't seen in this trailer yet, but it's coming. But, Wednesday Addams actually making it into the game. This is the Netflix series adaptation of her, and she even has Thing sitting on her shoulder like a parrot. And like, I guess if there was ever going to be a way to incorporate the Addams Family into this game and make it work, this would probably be the best route to go. But the funny thing is I've been thinking about the Scooby Doo collab and how Batman and Robin are already in the game. And there was an old Scooby Doo episode where Scooby and the gang ran into Batman and Robin, and they helped them they teamed up with them to take on the Penguin and Joker. And so that's like an old one. That's one of those back before Batman the Animated Series was ever a thing. And Casey Kasem, who voices Shaggy, was also the voice of Robin at the time. And so you had Casey Kasem talking to himself. So that's fun. But I was sitting there thinking, like, who from those old Scooby-Doo crossover episodes could possibly show up in Fortnite? And I thought about the Addams Family because it's Fortnitemares. I'm like, you know what? That would be pretty cool if they could find a way to work the Addams Family into Fortnitemares. I mean, they're an iconic franchise, especially around Halloween time. And lo and behold, Wednesday made it into the game. So a little bit of ESPN, if you will. But yeah, this is kind of cool. And she'll apparently have her own emotes. I have not watched the Wednesday series. Anyway, here's a close-up of the Mother of Thorns. And I'm wondering, again, I said this in the other video, if she is part of this demon invasion. Or if she's just a random character who shows up and takes over the island because it's scary time. I don't know. But there is supposed to be a storyline event at the end of this Fortnitemares, so who knows. They brought back the chainsaw, which is fun. That really was a fun weapon last year. Some more screenshots. There's Jason Voorhees. And he will be a boss on the map. That's going to be fun. I wonder, like, can he just jump out of anywhere? Hopefully he's hard to kill, because that's his whole gimmick, is that he's pretty much this unstoppable undead guy. So if he's easy to kill, then he might be doing him a disservice. But it is Fortnite. I mean, they want you to beat the bosses so you can use their weapons. Now, I like this feature here too for Ghostface. They've decided to make it to where if you run into the telephone booth, you'll turn into the Ghostface skin and be granted, I guess, his mythic weapon of his knife. And that's supposed to have some kind of effect. So that'll be interesting. And he's holding the cordless phone. It's not even a cell phone. How many of you watching this video are even old enough to remember cordless phones and how big of a deal that was at the time? Golly. Some of you probably don't even remember that there were that phones used to be attached to cords. Sometimes I had to remember when people were talking about the Scooby Doo collab, and they were like, how is Scooby gonna work as a skin? He's a dog. I'm sitting there thinking, like, this must just be the younger side of the Fortnite audience talking, because anyone who's ever seen any Scooby Doo anything knows that Scooby can walk upright pretty much whenever he wants to. So, you know, it's fun. It's fun to see how technology has evolved. And not to sound like the guy that's standing outside of the professor's building in every Pokemon game that's just like, technology is amazing. You know, but yeah. Then here we go. The big dog is finally in Fortnite. And they brought Scooby Snacks. I thought the Scooby Snacks were going to end up as an emote. And maybe they will, because I learned right before I sat down to record that the Scooby Doo collab will come with a grand total of 5 emotes. And some of them have not been decrypted yet, I don't think. So there's a good chance we'll still see the Scooby Snacks be an emote in some way. But here they're a consumable item. Apparently there was an item like this in the game a while back. Like a dog treat item or some kind. I don't know. This seems to be, from what I saw people saying, this will probably be the same thing. But that's an interesting choice here. But I'm so glad that the Scooby Snacks made it into the game. Now, I love this. Let me unmute it, because they add the old Hanna-Barbera cartoony sound effect of them running when they do. That's so good. Oh, I really hope maybe it will play that sound effect when either of these 5 skins are running. I was hoping, actually, that they would do custom animations for them that would resemble the way they ran in the old TV shows. If you ever seen the old Scooby-Doo run cycles, I mean, they recycled animation in the Scooby-Doo cartoons all the time. And so they had to find stuff that they could use for chase scenes, that they would just have them just loop through constantly, that they could just reuse whenever they needed the characters to run. I was hoping they would do custom animations for that, but I will accept them putting that sound effect in whenever you sprint. I hope that's the case. We'll have to find out when they drop, but I am extremely excited for this collab, and I'm glad they did give them the toon shading. But I have to say that they made the decision to kind of make them look more like if they had originated in Fortnite. And their faces have a lot more detail to them. And when you turn on the cell shading look, if you've seen any of the leaks, I think that the color scheme is good for the cell shading. But the more details on the face with the cell shading looks kind of weird. So I'm torn between whether I like just the plain old 3D look for them or the cell shading look that makes them look more like cartoon characters. I'm kind of torn now, because I feel like the additional details in the faces and all that and in their clothes, it makes them look better and more like Fortnite characters. But when you try to make them look like cartoons and put that filter over it, it looks a little weird. I think maybe they should have just stuck and tried to make the toon version of them look closer to what you expected from the old cartoon show. But you know what? I think overall they did a pretty good job with these skins, and I'm just glad they're in the game at the end of the day. So let's see what's happening next. Here are some original skins. The Maw or something like this. This is a Black Knight variant where his chest is actually a demon mouth. This Pig Butcher skin is actually a free reward this event. This Omega Knight thing over here, like a pumpkin-y Inferno guy. He's a boss in Demon Rush, if you didn't know. And then here, the Werewolf is actually the 3rd member of the High Stakes Club from back in the day, Lucian West, transformed, obviously. And I think they had already sort of hinted that that was going to happen to him, too. So, hey, I said this before in the other video. I'm glad the High Stakes Club are getting some love here. And this is at least a little bit of a form of progression for their stories. And I always felt that this group had real potential, and it was a shame that they never got any real storyline focus. But hey, I'll take brand new skins that advance their characters and personalities. At least it's something. Anyway, and it looks good. Now, here's some what looks like emotes. I'm almost certain this will be an emote for Jason, where he pulls out the machete and points towards the calendar, which of course says Friday the 13th on it. Repo, I don't know what this is, to be honest. It's some kind of indie game, I think. Don't know anything really about it. And here's one more shot of the Mother of Thorns, looking pretty cool, actually. And there's the screen. So yeah, this I think could be a really fun Fortnitemares. I'm hoping when I eventually drop in and see how everything plays, and when I get my hands on the Scooby skins for sure, this will determine how I feel about the Fortnitemares. But in terms of the collab quality, top tier. This is probably the most exciting collabs we've ever gotten for a Fortnitemares event, and they've had some good ones in the past. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, very possibly the best Fortnitemares we've ever had. So, what do you guys think? Let me know. And we're going to swap over now to the game, and we're going to check out the new Fortnite Festival Pass for Season 11. And it looks like this is going to be an original season. So, I wonder how they handle that. Now, before we go over this new music pass, I do want to talk about something I kind of hinted at earlier, and that's with this new Fortnitemares update. All of the KPop Demon Hunters stuff that was in the Battle Royale modes and everything has been taken out. All except for anything to do with Demon Rush. And that's a real bummer because the leakers really made it out and even explicitly said that KPop Demon Hunters was going to be the main collab of Fortnitemares, and it ended up being that it was sort of the appetizer for Fortnitemares. It got its own week, which, to be honest, is cool. I'm glad that they decided that this was a big enough deal to put Rumi, Mira, and Zoe in the game and give them their own little amount of time to shine, but it was only a week, and so when something's in the game for that short of a period of time, you kind of like really miss it like quickly. So I haven't even dropped into the Fortnitemares update yet, and I'm already just kind of disappointed that, you know, if I want to use Rumi's sword, or the Ramyeon, or the golden Honmoon bubble shield, or the, you know, the derpy tiger mask warp thing, if I want to do any of that, or see Gima off in the distance, I'm going to have to play only Horde Rush. And so that's unfortunate. And of course, the Huntrix NPCs have been taken out of all of those other modes as well. So easy come, easy go, I guess. And there is one more thing I'll talk about with the music pass later on with KPop Demon Hunters. But let's go over this pass. I've wasted enough of you guys' time talking. And here we have Sedona. It says originality is everything, which is ironically enough, people were not excited about having an original skin for Fortnitemares. I mean, I think she looks fine. I mean, nothing wrong with her. I mean, not exceptionally exciting, but I mean, sometimes some of these more basic looking skins, they still look fine. There's just the problem with some of these other modes in the game is that like I don't get a sense of like they don't feel important to like Battle Royale. So I don't know. But she looks fine. I like her color scheme with the blue and the pink. Sedona's style, it's spray, who cares, on and on remix. I guess this is a Fortnite original song. Yeah, it says Epic Games. Oh, she's got a skateboard. Okay. It's a backbling, so she's a skater. That outfit kind of makes sense then. So she's a punk. She's kind of punk. Okay, In My Room, Julia Wolf. I don't know what that song is, but I'm sure it's copywritten. Zoomy Groove, so she gets a bass. Kind of like that. Okay, I love rock and roll. Okay, I know that song. I kind of like that song. Oh god, Motionless in White? Wow. That's a heavy band. Okay. But at least it fits for Fortnitemares. Not gonna listen to that. Copyright system will get you, even if it doesn't get you right away. High Note. Okay. Got the bird there. Reminded me of that SpongeBob episode where they got the bird brains playing. That's funny. I don't know who that character singing is though, or the one with the guitar over here. That's not the one that's in the past either. That's interesting. Friendly Fire, another Epic Games original track, and that's for the more recently released member of the Supernovas too, as the art. That's interesting. Nana Jamma? Is this a guitar for Peely? Hey, you know what? I like that. He gives Peely another pickaxe. I like that. Ascend. Okay, I'm assuming this is an original piece of music that they won't copyright strike me for, but I actually like this. Like a god of rock and roll type. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like that one. Champion, oh, Fallout Boy. Okay, got a Fallout Boy song. Shocking Serenade. That's a microphone. Of course, you can beat the crap out of people with it. Spooky. A haunted keyboard, I guess. Bats. Ooh, haunted aura. I kind of like that one. Give that one to Batman. Any vampire character. Rock Skulls says rock out. Kind of like that one. Oh, Doja Cat. Okay. I have to put that in there. Rides here. I've seen a lot of these. I kind of like this. They look. The alien UFOs. And that's an interesting thing to include in this, considering something else that leaked that's not a part of this season. A Simpsons umbrella leaked, or a glider. I don't know if it was the umbrella necessarily. The two aliens from The Simpsons that kind of just hang around, they're that leaked. So we've already got Simpsons stuff in the game, in the files already, so that's interesting. But I like this little UFO comes over to try to abduct the musician here. That's a pretty fun little emote. Ride, Epic Games. I don't know why it looks like it's got a marching symbol on it. We won't stick around on the songs too much. Bonehead, another musical instrument. Looks like a, yeah, that's a fish. Fairy hi-hat. Humping up the drum set. Balloons, it floats away. But you pop them. Okay, that's cute. Bright bag for this character here. El Patero. Paletro. I don't know. Kind of an interesting Day of the Dead inspired artwork there. Boom. Simple. Claudio. It's an aura. Okay. Floating rocks. Kind of cool. Glimmering heart. So she's going to be a drummer. Rocket Man, Elton John. I'm definitely not going to put up an Elton John song. And here we go. Jana Pastel. Show your true colors. Okay. Very bright color with the aqua green hair. And I don't know, like, usually these are like band members, so maybe this will be a band? Maybe Epic is going to start to like build their own kind of original band? I don't know. I mean, that would be an interesting road if they wanted to do that and have these characters like, oh, here, we now have our own little band of characters. Like, kind of like if they did their own take of the Gorillas. Although, gonna need more than 2 people, I think. But this could just be the start of it. And maybe, I don't know what the deal would be as to why this was not another collab season. All of the Fortnite Festival seasons have been collabs. But I do have a theory, and it's something that, remember, I talked about a little bit before. With the KPop Demon Hunters stuff, there were rumors that there were going to be 2 emotes related to that movie for Golden and how it's done. There was supposed to be another loading screen, and there even was in the files something for a unfinished microphone for Rumi. I wonder if there's a chance still in the future that they're going to do another KPop Demon Hunters collab, but this time with Fortnite Festival, where they'll bring in their Golden outfits and give them their jam tracks for some of their songs. Maybe bring back the original collab, the standard Rumi, Zoe, and Mira skins. That could be something we see, because Bruno Mars did something like that as well. There was another Bruno Mars skin in the game way before he became the headliner for Fortnite Festival. And they even brought that version of him back to the item shop when they did this new version of him. So I would say if you were worried about getting more K-pop Demon Hunter stuff, I would be willing to bet that another collab is going to happen with that movie. So if you really wanted the golden suits, I think that plenty of people online made it clear they wanted those outfits in the game. Maybe this first wave of the collab was something that Epic and Netflix wanted to do to get it out on the market really quick so that they would have something as fast as possible. And it just sort of happened to coincide with the arrival of Fortnitemares, and they were able to shimmy that in between the Power Rangers big finale battle and then the start of Fortnitemares and, you know, the Scooby Doo stuff and all that. So I think it worked out okay. I still don't like that it was only a week, but it was good. I think it was good. It just could have been better if they had taken the time. If they had decided, and who knows, it's not my place to decide that they should have waited until they could have done the Fortnite Festival collab and made the jam tracks. But, you know, when something catches fire like KPop Demon Hunters did, you want to capitalize as fast as possible. And I think that given the situation, given how fast this collab came out, I think that it was probably a good call to go ahead and give people a taste. And so they could always bring Huntrix back. You see old skins pop up in the shop all the time. And as popular as this thing is, you'll probably see it pretty often. So I would say don't give up hope on those golden outfits just yet. But what do you guys think? How do you feel about this new music pass? How do you feel about Fortnitemares? Are you looking forward to it? Do you think that Fortnite Festival is boring without collab skins? Or are you willing to give original musicians for this mode a chance? Let me know in the comments what you think. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you out there on the Fortnite Island to experience Fortnitemares, to run in fear of Jason Voorhees and all the other terrible characters, including the Mother of Thorns, Doja Cat, who hopefully will never fake take over Fortnite's Twitter account again and tweet something potentially suggestive that they will have to delete and then say like, oopsie, our bad, and then Doja Cat will then have to respond and say, hey, I'm not actually taking over the Fortnite account. They're doing this to promote my collab. I even told them don't post that, but they did it anyway. So anyway, thanks again for watching. We'll see you out there on the island. Till then, bye-bye.